thank you for coming to this second Girls Get Set virtual session. We've got some career spotlights to share with you today. So 3 presenters who will talk you through their STEM careers, what they did at school, and what they chose to do after school in their careers now. We've got lots of interesting women that work for the business, so just giving you a flavour of what they're like today. So coming up, we've got Rachel, Jasmin and Emma. They've all got their stories to share with you. And then we've got a bit of a networking activity at the end, get you guys talking to each other, learning a bit more about what you might like to do, what your feelings of STEM subjects are. So we will come to that, and that will fill out the remainder of your time. So you'll only be sitting listening for 20-25 minutes maximum, hopefully, and there'll be the opportunity for you to ask questions. So the ladies here, they'll go through their career journeys and the milestone moments. So while they're speaking, think of some questions to ask, and there'll be the opportunity after everyone's presentation. Just a quick note on the worksheets that you might have for today. So there are some tips for STEM careers in there, with career spotlights of 2 of our Girls Get Set champions, Amy and Laura. There are some spaces to write down questions, so note down some notes about what the girls are talking about, and any questions that you might have to remind yourself. And then at the back, there is extra career advice. So like I said, we've got lots of great women who work in STEM for Baker Hughes, and we wanted to give you a bit of an overview of even more of them, more than just the girls we picked to speak today. I will pass on to Rachel, and she will tell you about her career journey.
Hello everyone, so good morning. My name's Rachel. I'm an early engagement engineer based in Newcastle, so up north in the UK. My career journey, I guess, will start at school. So at school, I always loved STEM subjects. Even for like GCSEs, I was never an Englishy person. I always loved kind of maths and physics. So when I came to kind of choosing my A levels, that's why I chose maths, physics and business. So I wanted to I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just chose the subjects I enjoyed and thought that's the best way to kind of pick what to do for my A levels. So I think a tip for you guys is just always stick to what you enjoy. You're never you've got to have fun. You've got to enjoy the career you're going to have, and just choose the subjects you enjoy studying. When I was 17, I did some work experience in bioengineering. So for that side of things, it was looking at prosthetics. So looking at hip implants and looking at people that maybe, like I said, need a hip implant. I designed that. I did some testing on it. So I really enjoyed that work experience, and that kind of switched to my mind to, oh, maybe I want to have a look at engineering. That's a career path I could do. So I decided to study mechanical engineering at Newcastle University, so up where I'm currently based now. Mechanical engineering, the reason I chose it, I guess it just covers a wide range of topics. So with mechanical, you can look at cars, you can look at planes, you can look at materials. You can honestly look at kind of anything in a wide range of areas. So it's a really good one. I did it because I didn't really know specifically what I wanted to specialize in. So mechanical gave me those options. So when I came out of university, I could kind of go into whatever I found interesting. While I was at uni, I did a 3-month summer internship at Siemens Mobility. So that was trains. So I've done work experience in prosthetics. Then I did 3 months working with trains. So something very different. It was enjoyable, but something I kind of realized, oh, I'm not quite sure I want to go into that side of things. And then after my 3rd year, I did a placement at Baker Hughes. So Baker Hughes, where I'm at now, I did a placement as a design engineer. So the picture of the pipe on the right is what we designed. So on placement, I was designing flexible pipes, they're called. So they go subsea and they transport anything like oil, water, gas along the seabed. So I designed those layers. So every layer has to be kind of individually designed. So that was my job on placement. And then I really enjoyed that job. So that kind of switched my mind again. It was something completely different. I'd never worked in before. I really enjoyed it. And I actually got offered a job to return back to Baker Hughes after I'd finished my degree. Went back to finish off my master's degree. So it was a 4-year degree. And then I came back to Baker Hughes a couple of years ago as an early engagement engineer, which is what I'm doing now. And that's more kind of a customer facing role. So I do a lot of talking to customers, seeing what they want for their projects. And before kind of they come in and formally ask for a quote, I work with them and just help them with any questions they might have and support them on that side of things. So my role is kind of quite customer orientated, and I still stick with the technical side as well. And yeah, I've had lots of opportunities to travel with the role and meet customers all over the world. So yeah, that's my career journey. And then, so this is just some pictures about my life. So the top 4 pictures are just some of the recent work trips I've gone on. So I went and did a trip to Houston, which is in America. And then recently we've been to kind of Dubai. So we went to a conference in Dubai and did some customer visits in Abu Dhabi and Dubai as well. And then on the bottom, just outside of work. So I enjoy kind of walking, skiing, I've done with my family, and there's some pictures of my family and friends at the bottom. And then I did some I went to France earlier in the year. So I've done some surfing in France and then saw a giraffe at a zoo. It's a very funny picture. So I thought I'd pop that in there. So yeah, and my dog's on there as well. So that's a bit about me and my life outside of work as well. Open to any questions anyone might have.
What's your favourite sport, and importantly, what is your dog called?
My favourite sport, so I've done gymnastics my whole life. So I did gymnastics from when I was 5, and I did it all the way through school and then at university as well. So sport-wise, definitely gymnastics, and my dog's called Willow.
Willow, that's a nice name. Yeah. What types of things did you do your work experience in prosthetics in?
So I did it at a company called Dupree Synthesis, it's called. It's a very complicated name. They're part of a bigger company called Johnson & Johnson. And what I had to do, so I was only there for a week, but I had to design a hip implant, and then they manufactured and made me a little 3D sample, and then I had to test it and basically test it till it broke. So I added a lot of weight to it and tried to simulate it breaking to understand what weight it would take before it would break. So yeah, I kind of did the whole design, manufacture, and then tested it on the week.
Thank you. So we have another question here. What's bioengineering?
So it can cover all sorts. So in my mind, at one point, I really wanted to go into prosthetics. So you can do a lot of designing fake legs, fake arms to help people that have maybe lost their limbs. Like I said, I looked at implants, so knee implants, hip implants. But there's also a different side of it. There's more kind of biology side. So there's kind of, you can look at making even fake skin and doing patches for skin and more of a biology side of things. I'm not that good at biology, but there's definitely kind of all sorts of areas. It's more related to kind of the body and helping the body in certain ways, making solutions for the body, I guess.
We'll go for one final question. I'll ask the question, I'll ask a bit more to it. So what was your favourite type of engineering that you've tried and experienced, and what do you think, having that experience of a few different types early on in your career when you were still leaving school, how do you think that influenced what you wanted to go into?
So everything I've done work experience wise, I've always enjoyed. So I always enjoyed it. I think working with trains, I enjoyed it, but I kind of knew that, I don't really want to go down that path. When I did my work experience, I enjoyed the role. It wasn't necessarily the industry. It was a design engineer, but I enjoyed being able to interact with customers. So that's what I did on my placement role. So when I went back to do my next year at uni, I specialised into the energy sector. So that kind of interested me from my placement. So I think my favourite type is kind of this energy side of things and working with customers. It's not necessarily full detailed, like sitting down at your computer and designing all the time. So I like the mix of still staying in engineering, but doing, I guess, it's more kind of a salesy role as well. So doing a bit of both, but I'm not one of those people that wants to sit in my desk and kind of deep dive into the technical all the time. So it's good you can do everything with the role, with engineering, really.
No, that's great. Thank you. We will move on to Jasmin, who's sitting beside Rachel at the moment in Newcastle, and hear about her slightly different journey in engineering.
So I started off actually at Modern High School, which is one of the schools that are on the programme now. And then I went to King's Priory for my A-levels and GCSEs. Similar to Rachel, I was very much math, science based. I wasn't very good at English. Didn't really interest me that much. Didn't enjoy it. Originally, I wanted to be a doctor when I was at school. So I chose chemistry, biology and geography for my A-levels. And then I started my A-levels and was pretty much told, you're not going to be able to do that. You're not clever enough, which obviously, looking back, I think it was an attempt at reverse psychology, but when you're 16, you take it literally, and I believed it, so didn't bother. Didn't apply for uni when I was in sixth form until results day. I went through clearing. I decided on the day, I'm going to go do engineering. We'll see how that ends up. We'll see what happens. Wrote my personal statement in a day, applied, and then I got in. So then I went to the University of Sutherland and did my mechanical engineering degree. So I was there for 4 years. It was a 3-year course, but I was also working at the time. So at one point I was working 2 full-time jobs whilst I was at uni. I worked in an Indian restaurant in Tynemouth for 6 years. Eventually I became management on the team, and I also worked at Morrison's Pharmacy for 2 years, where I got my NVQ level 2 in pharmacy dispensing and minor ailments, which I love, absolutely loved both jobs. I'm working in the restaurant on Friday night, just helping out still, even though I left a year and a half ago, probably, when I started this job. And then last July, I came here doing my current role, which is a customer application engineer. So what I do is I design the flexible pipes Rachel was talking about earlier, but I design them before the order's placed. So I do like the tendering phase, it's called. So after Rachel's gone through the early engagement process, it then comes to my desk and we start doing the designs. We work with the customer. So I do still have like a lot of customer engagement, customers all over the world. And then we get to a technical solution that works for them. And it's good because it's still not that deep dive into the really deep technical. I still have a good mix of doing the designs, still interacting with the customers, and it's really good and I really enjoy it. And alongside that, I'm doing Girls Get Set. So along with Steph, who I think is on the call, we are doing the UK co-leads together this year. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, eventually I'd like to become chartered, become a lead engineer, and just start working my way up. These are some pictures of me and my friends. That's a picture of where I live, my nieces and my nephew. I've got my goddaughter. I went to Italy this year, so you can see at the top, that's a picture of Mount Vesuvius, which I am quite strange, obsessed with. So you can see in the one on the bottom, you see me and my high vis. So sometimes we take turns in going and sitting in the actual, like in the office in the plant with the manufacturing engineers. So that was when I was doing that. See my dog, he looks absolutely crazy in that picture. But yeah, that's just a bit of my life outside of work.
What does chartered mean?
Okay, so I'm going to do my best to explain this. Rachel, you can jump in. So basically, after you have sort of a few years experience doing different things, become more knowledgeable and more sort of, I want to say specialized, but it's not like you're stuck in one thing basically. But after a few years and you've got your experience, you can then go to an institution. So we've got like the Institution of Mechanical Engineering. You can go to them and you can submit like this application, and then you've got like reports and stuff, and you tell them what you've done, and then you can get awarded your chartership basically. So it's like an award above a degree, but it's not, that's different to your master's.
How do you think your experience working at an Indian restaurant has helped you prepare for your current role? Is there any skills that you feel you took from that into a professional workspace?
Yeah, definitely. I think when I started that, I didn't really have much confidence talking to people and stuff. And then over time, that in the pharmacy as well, it's both customer facing. So you learn how to talk to people and like interact and deal with if someone's got an issue or a problem and they come to you, say, well, you've got to then solve it. And I think it's really important, I think, especially when you're young, is to be able to then go and like talk to people, because I think it really helps you like further down the line. Yeah.
All right, I think we've got time for one final question here. So how did you overcome being told that you couldn't do something? How did you overcome being told that you weren't smart enough?
To be honest, at the time, I don't think I did. I think looking back now, I know for a fact I could have gone and done it. I was clever enough. But at the time, I think you just believe what anyone tells you about yourself. So I think it's just being able to know that you can put in the work and be able to do something. You don't listen to other people. If you think you can do something, you can. So just make sure to remember that, because yeah, it can change the pathway of your life completely. But I mean, I am happy I'm doing what I'm doing. I love my job. I really do love it.
No, it's a good message that if you want to do something, continue to go for it, and don't listen to the more negative voices.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the final person we've got to present today is Emma. So I will hand over to her.
Hi everyone, I'm Emma. So I have a slightly different career trajectory to the previous one. So I started in Baker Hughes around 6 years ago. So I've got 6 years of experience, and I'm currently a project manager. So a project manager is someone that is planning and organizing and managing a project to a specific timeline. So if you think about a wedding planner, for example, they're a type of project manager. You see that their project is delivering successful weddings, and they plan, they manage, they organize all the resources, the people, and the time to be able to deliver a successful wedding. So I sort of do that in the context of in an engineering workspace. So I did work experience at Big Hughes at 15 years old, which was at year 10. We did a week's worth of work experience, and during that week I was able to experience a variety of roles within the workplace. So there was different types of engineering, mechanical, electrical engineering, software engineering, but I also got to know sort of the project management and business side of an engineering company. So that's what really sparked my interest. I was sort of at school, I sort of had interest in a lot of subjects, so it was kind of hard for me to decide, but I always knew that I loved STEM. So originally, when I was at 15, around that age, 15, 16, I wanted to get into aerospace engineering because I'm based in Nailsea, Bristol, so there's a lot of aerospace engineering companies in Bristol, so that's what sort of sparked my interest. However, I did realise it when I was doing my GCSEs and I was sort of starting that I did have some leadership skills, and I did want to get into the business side of things. I took economics at school, and that really piqued my interest, but I was so conflicted because I also love STEM. So at 16 I decided to apply for a project management apprenticeship at Baker Hughes because I thought it gave me the best option of not only working with, in a STEM company, working with engineers, but being able to manage and do sort of the business side through the project management. So I was originally going to go to do my A levels, but I applied and I was successful for the project management apprenticeship. So I decided to start. Throughout my apprenticeship, I did different role rotations in project management. So I worked on large scale projects, and how our projects work within the company is that we have different roles within a project team. So these roles could be like a planner, they could be a quality engineer. We had also an engineering manager, we had a planning team, and we had like commercial roles as well. And the project manager was the glue that held all the roles together to make sure that all aspects and elements of the project were getting done. So I did experience different roles. I did risk management, I did contract management, I did planning to really get a diverse skill set, and that was great. So whilst doing that sort of experience, work experience and learning on the job, I did a level 3 BTEC in business management at the same time. That took me 2 years. And then after my 2 years of achieving my level 3, I got a foundation degree in business management. So that took me 3 years. So not only did I get the work experience side, learning through practical elements, but I also did get my education out of it, getting those qualifications. Throughout my journey, I sort of took on extra roles. So I'm currently the NOWSY Women's Network site leader, and we plan sort of events around women's empowerment and women's network. So we have a team at NOWSY and we like to create events. I did one recently on baby loss awareness. So we do different types of events, and I sort of built my network through that. So I'm currently now project manager doing process improvement. So before I was sort of executing large scale projects, delivering big ticket items to international companies and international customers. I now sort of look internally at how we can improve our project management processes. So I deliver small scale projects internally to improve our overall business operations. So now I'm doing that. I'm also completing my bachelor's in business management. So I'm doing that currently with Exeter University. It's all online. It's a top-up degree. So that's lasting me 2 years, and I'm graduating next July. And then sort of the future, I'm sort of open to growth, change, and enjoying the journey. I don't really have a set career plan, but I'm open to different types of roles. And I sort of want to get into business strategy later on. So to get there, I'm really open to sort of changing my role, changing my career. And I think that's something that's really important and not discussed at your age, is that you can really progress your career. You don't have to, choose one specific route. You can chop and change, and you can move, and you can grow. So that's one piece of advice that I would give to you guys if I was back at your age. So a bit about me. What I love to do outside of work is I'm a dancer. So those 2 pictures on the left is when our team represented England at the World Championships for the Dance Worlds at Florida and Orlando in the US. So I did that in April last year. So I train like 8 hours a week. So that takes a lot of my extracurricular time. I also love to travel and eat. So whenever I travel, I like to find the famous food spots, and I also love to cook. So I went to Italy. I love to shop. I love fashion. And then a huge part of my heritage and culture is that I'm half Thai. So I always, that's part of my culture, sort of holds my values close to my chest. And then you can see a bit of a work picture there is when I was on a project as a project manager, delivering that massive HPU unit. It's called a hydraulic power unit to the Chinese customer. So you can see my Chinese customer came to visit with me, with another one of our Chinese engineers. We're an international company, so working with international customers and is something that really interests me as well, because I love to travel and I love to collaborate with different cultures. Also graduated from my foundation degree, so I'm currently studying with Exeter, getting my bachelor's, and I also love to go and watch the theatre sometimes. So that's me watching Wicked this year.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? What style of dance you do?
So I do hip hop dancing. Yeah.
Do you see yourself as a project manager in the future? Is that always kind of the route that you see your career going down?
Project management, I think, is something that is my speciality. It will always be with me. But I would like to develop more into a strategic business development role where I'm creating and planning strategy rather than delivering the project itself. I think that the underpinning of project management is really important, having that practical aspect, because you know what works, what doesn't. But I always see that my future career will have some sort of aspect of project management within it.
Yeah, thank you. Really interesting question here. Do you regret leaving school that early? What were your thoughts on joining an apprenticeship at age 15?
Yeah, I think at the time it was upsetting because you're obviously leaving your friends from school, but I don't have any regrets because I got myself on the career ladder very early, and there's so many benefits to the apprenticeship. Like, I didn't have to pay a dime for any of my higher education qualifications because it's funded through the government apprenticeship levy. So I got my bachelor's degree free of charge for me, plus I was getting paid, plus I'm going to walk away with a bachelor's degree and 7 years experience. So obviously you're going to miss out on, the university elements, having that in growing up and being a bit more independent with moving away from your hometown, and maybe that's something that interests you. But yeah, I think that it was a struggle. It is difficult, but I don't regret it. So if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, it's a great opportunity to do an apprenticeship.
We've got another question here. How do you find time and the balance to do both your working life, your degree, and also the hobbies that you like to do?
Yes, it's very hard, but a understanding manager is key. So my manager is very supportive of my degree. So as part of the apprenticeship, you need to have 1 day release from your day job. So you have to at least have 7 hours available to you to be able to study towards your degree. Time management is key, making sure that you set deadlines, you negotiate your deadlines, your work deadlines, and that you communicate that you are a very busy person. So you need to clarify and set your expectations from the get-go. And then in terms of juggling my extracurricular activities outside of work, I don't see it as time that I need to set aside. It's my downtime. That, like, dance training is something I love to do. I'm very fortunate to be successful in those hobbies, competing at a large scale. But yeah, it's fun for me, so that is my downtime, believe it or not. So yeah, it's just making sure that you set some time to do what you love, that you rest, recuperate, and that you block that time to make sure that you are looking after your well-being, and you're setting those times and being hard with those timelines and your negotiations.
Oh, thank you.